Hello, everyone. If you can hear me, can you please write in the chat box feature? You'll see the chat box feature below the attendee list. We just want to make sure that you can all hear us and see us. I've indicated in the chat box feature if you can hear or see me right now, just let us know. All right, so I heard from one parent, so that's good. Good. All right then. Looks like everyone can at least hear and see me. So let me introduce myself. My name is Cameron Yanisic. I am the Student Service Director for Areteem Institute, and I welcome everybody today to our Back to School webinar. This is sort of an annual event that we do all the time with our school. Looks like we might need to test this again. So for today's webinar, we're going to go over a little bit about Areteem Institute today. And let's get started, shall we? So today, we're going to talk a little bit about Areteem Institute, a brief introduction of what we do, what our classes and programs entail, and to learn a little bit more about how we can help your students. Some of the programs that we're going to go into more detail about are specifically our online courses that we have, as well as our camp programs too. We are a STEM Education Institute, so most of our programs entail mathematics, science, and technology programs. One of these features for our math that we have introduced this year is our Zimmel website, and we'll go into a little bit more about what that is, including different math competitions and these daily magic spells. Further, we're going to end it with talking about these ASLA local clubs, which are get-togethers for people for the students especially, to actually learn a little bit more from our programs. And to introduce me to, like I said, I'm the Student Service Director, so I am the one mostly talking and communicating with parents, especially via email and calls. So if you ever were to call our office, most likely it would be me to speak with you. I'm in charge with all the student accounts, so that's why I'm helping to host this today. So a little bit about us now. So Areteem Institute, we've been around since 2004. We are a private educational institute. As I mentioned, we are STEM focused, and most of our students range from upper elementary through to high school. We've grown tremendously over the past several years, from just teaching local classes to students to many of you might know us as MathZoom previously, where we just focused on mathematics. From there, the past couple of years, we've completely expanded to improve our programs, include, as I mentioned, anything from our online courses to our camp programs. And we do have a continued history of students doing very well. We constantly hear back from students each year thanking us for attending our programs, and eventually we do hear back when they come, when they start to apply to colleges. So we're very thankful for that. With what we offer exactly at Areteem Institute, one thing which we endeavored to do was we are in fact WASC accredited, meaning that we are accredited through the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. It is a regional accreditation committee. There's actually 6 around the country, and the Western is for states like California, Hawaii, and Alaska. The association actually accredits high schools and universities across the Western United States, so we're very happy to be included among the programs for this too, which means that We know what we're talking about. We are very good. We've developed these over several years, and we're thankful to bring these programs to our students and constantly see students coming back each year. Because our programs are advanced for students, they are in part due to our faculty. And all of our faculty, as it mentions, have professional degrees, meaning that all of our faculty have gone through to get their masters and PhDs in their token fields of interest in math, science, and other academic fields. And with their experience and expertise, they've helped to develop our programs over the years to the level that they're at right now, helping, as I mentioned, upper elementary, middle school, and high school students to further provide supplementary programs that they may not have received normally in their regular school. We constantly hear from parents that they feel that a lot of the programs in their schools nowadays are not as challenging for them, whether it's in mathematics or science subjects. So we fulfill the need to help your students do better in any of these subjects. Our history has focused not only on helping students to improve academically through the math and science, but also with math competitions, which my colleagues will go into more later. And as I mentioned, with our history of math competitions, meaning we actually have participated in these, we've helped coach these, and our experience is reflected in the curriculum that we've developed. Further, our staff is also very friendly and reliable, so anytime that you contact us, we have many ways you can get a hold of us, whether it's through email, calls to our California headquarters, or even methods like social media or WeChat. We try to provide the best service, fast and reliable, and make sure that we meet all of your students' needs in the class. And we do like hearing feedback constantly from the parents like you and any students who may be listening right now as well. We love to hear back from you guys and hear how else we could help you. So, what does Areteem Institute look like? Here's a few pictures from over the years with us. These actually were taken mostly at our summer camps the past couple of years. You'll see that all of our students are thoroughly engaged. These are academic programs, but we have a lot of fun too. This kind of shows a little bit about what we do. If you look actually in the far left corner on your side of the computer, you'll see an instructor talking with a student. That's Dr. Kevin Wong. He's our academic director and has helped to bring tremendous growth to our company. And you'll actually meet him shortly too. And I'll let him introduce himself. These students that you see in pictures here, the top two show students that are in competitions. These are actually held, we do online and on-site competitions. These are actually held at our summer camps. We also help with tutoring, as you could see in the far right corner with the group of girls with one of our counselors. We do attend to tutoring mostly online, which is most of where our classes are conducted. And you can see a class setting in the summer camp in the far left corner below. So these are some of our past students. Some of these are actually returning students, and we're thankful to have students who are taking our year-round classes as well as coming to our camps. So it's nice, obviously, we do, like I said, in a virtual setting, but it's very nice that we actually have local programs that we can meet with students and help them to improve even more so. So, some of you probably have encountered this at one point. If you haven't, this is our website, areteem.org. This is where you can find updated information about all of our programs. This is actually the front page. What you'll see actually is several links to different features of our website. That's where you can look up about our courses, our camps, our competitions. All these pictures are actually students and teachers from previous sessions that we've had, camp programs as well. So if you, after this webinar, you found this interesting and you wanted to learn more about us from what we were telling you today, please go to our areteem.org website and share this with your friends and colleagues. We do have a lot of word-of-mouth communication with people, so we'd love to spread the message about Areteem even more than we've had these past several years. So, to be brief, this is something that you can look at actually on our website, but these are our main programs, the content of what we actually do at our institute. Main feature that we have at the very top is our online courses. I will actually let my curriculum director, John, go into more detail about these, but we offer live and self-paced courses for, as I mentioned, STEM-focused programs. The camp programs that we have are also run year-round. Mostly we have them in the winter and summer. This year we've actually started doing spring break camps too. So we can actually bring camps to you if we get enough people involved, and I actually will go into that later. Dr. Wong will talk about our Zimmel math competitions, which are held online and on-site at these camp programs. We also have this year, which we're very happy about, to have published our first set of math curriculum books. These books right now focus on the AMC 10 and 12 competitions. You may be familiar with them. This also helps students even in our Zimmel competitions, as well as competitions like ARML, which is regional ones across the United States. The local clubs I will actually briefly mention at the end of our webinar today, where you can actually form different groups together. Furthermore, the past several years we've done a lot more outreach events, meaning that we have physically gone out to locations around the country. We're situated in California, where our headquarters is located. So we have done a lot around Los Angeles and Orange counties, meaning we've done anything from attending competitions, helping to assess students at these competitions. We've even put on our own events. One of the fun ones we've done for the past couple of years is at the LA County Science and Engineering Fair. We put on a mini carnival that's hands-on and interactive for students, and these are for the students who have competed in the competitions. So we've done many more of these, and we hope to do even more, not only around California, but around the country. Lastly, our website does provide educational resources that would be of use for you. We do have a blog site, and I'll go into that a little bit more, and these will help students who especially are preparing for college applications, because we do hope that you attend our programs and you can actually eventually get credit as well as recognition for taking these programs with us. So that's a little introduction into the Areteem Institute. So right now, I am going to turn the mic over to my colleague, John Lensmeyer. He is our Curriculum and Instruction Director. So without further ado, I will give you John.
Hello, everyone. So as Cameron mentioned, my name is John. I'm the Director of Curriculum and Instruction here at Areteem Institute. And I'm going to talk in a little bit more detail about some of our upcoming courses and instruction opportunities that we have. So the first thing coming up soon, right, our fall term of classes is starting right after Labor Day. We have some courses starting throughout September. And I'll go into a little bit more detail in the coming slides, but I kind of divided these courses for the fall into these 4 categories. We have our Math Challenge series. Those courses are much more focused towards the different math competitions, and I'll talk a little bit more about the different competitions and what we like about training students and teaching students about those competitions in a little bit. Then we have a couple of accelerated math classes. These provide normal school curriculum, but at an accelerated rate, and allow students to kind of get ahead of their peers or get ahead a year ahead so they can take more advanced classes during their middle school and high school educations. And then we also have physics classes and computer science classes starting up this fall as well. Lastly, right, so these fall classes are all online classes. We also have camps. The next set of camps coming up are our winter camps around the holidays, and I'll talk a little bit more about those in a few minutes as well. So first up, talking about the online math challenge classes. So we divide our classes into 4 terms, so summer, fall, winter, and spring, and we really focus on a single topic each term. So the summer term that we just finished up focused on algebra. We're going to be doing geometry in the fall, then combinatorics, counting, probability in the winter, and then number theory in the spring. And we think these topics are the main ones that come up on the different math competitions and are also just a good foundation of different math topics that students may or may not have in school. And so we like to divide the terms up into those different topics. So a lot of these classes, as I mentioned, are focused on math competitions, right? So we have a list here. The big ones are the AMC competitions, right? AMC 8, 10, 12. And then if you do well on those, you can qualify for the AMY and then the USAMO, USJMO, etc. So we have different levels. So the 1A and 1B classes focus more on the AMC 8 math counts. So if you're not so familiar with these competitions, I'll underline here the numbers, right? So you can think of these just in terms of grade levels roughly as well, right? So the 1A and 1B courses are kind of upper middle school level courses. And then 2A is up to kind of 10th grade, 2B up to 12th grade, and kind of more advanced from there. And so one of the reasons we really like teaching these classes focused on competition prep is even if you have a student who's not into math competitions or hasn't started math competitions yet, really what's important is the problem-solving ability. And these skills, these problem-solving skills are useful in any walk of life, inside of math, outside of math. These different skills you learn will be helpful the rest of your life. And so even if you're not actually interested in doing the math competitions, the problem-solving skills, the math enrichment that we cover in these courses is very useful as well. Okay, so the next set of classes is our accelerated math classes. So we have 2 classes we're offering in the fall. We have an algebra readiness class. This is geared towards upper elementary or early middle school students who are kind of haven't taken an algebra class yet in school, but might be coming up to kind of an algebra readiness exam. A lot of middle schools give exams to kind of place you in an algebra class or a 7th grade math, 6th grade math. So we have a class preparing for this exam, and it will give students a leg up so they can take that exam, do well on the exam, and kind of make sure that they get ahead so they can take an algebra course as early as possible, and this allows them to get ahead, right, and make sure that they're taking more advanced classes by the time they get into high school. And so similarly, we have a pre-calculus course. The pre-calculus course is meant to be taken concurrently at the same time with an Algebra 2 class, right? So normally you might take Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, pre-calculus, then calculus. Well, this way you might take Algebra 2 and then take our pre-calculus course at the same time, and then hopefully be able to get into calculus the next year, so you kind of save that 1 year of classes. And so as Cameron mentioned before, right, we are WASC accredited. We're more than happy to work with school just to make sure that you get credits that are equivalent to your school requirements, or just kind of make sure you get placed in the calculus class at the end of the term. Okay, so we will have a Q&A session at the end. If you want to ask questions in chat as well, we can try to kind of get to them at when we have a chance during the lecture as well. I'm loading my next slide. I'm having a little trouble here, but we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so I think you might be able to see it. So the next slide is the physics courses. Okay, yeah, so physics courses, we have, again, 2 physics classes we offered for the fall. We have 2 sets kind of going forward. Our first is a physics fundamentals course. This is a first year honors class if you're taking it as a high school student. The curriculum is oftentimes the same as a first year college course, kind of a non-major college course. So this is an algebra-based physics class, and it exposes students to the main ideas in physics. And so the fall term we'll cover thermodynamics. That's one of the main areas of physics. And this, again, is a year-round class where each term will have a different focus, really diving into the fundamentals of physics so students can kind of get ahead if they want to be taking an AP physics class later on in their high school career. So the other physics class is our Physics Challenge 2 course. This is a calculus-based course, so it will use some calculus. A lot of times people can be taking this course as they're taking it, maybe an AP Calculus AB in school. And so you don't need a lot of calculus, but it will use a little bit of calculus. And so this challenge course does prepare for the Physics C exam. It also will do a lot of problem solving on things you may see in the Physics Olympiad or the kind of F equals MA exam as well. So this one is kind of a more advanced course, really again focusing on problem solving in physics. And so the fall term here is going to focus on problem solving in mechanics. Okay. So, okay. Or is this one? Okay, sorry, I'm figuring out the slides a little bit on my end, having a little bit of trouble. Okay, so next is our fall computer science courses. So we have here 2 classes we're offering the fall. The first one is a Python programming. This is an introductory programming class. The language we picked is Python. We think Python is a really up-and-coming language. It's very easy. The syntax is easy for students to learn. So we like starting students off learning Python, and we feel that our Python programming class is a perfect way to start learning about computer science, start getting a little bit more of an idea of how computers work, how programming works. And so this will give them a leg up if they want to go on and take AP computer science courses later on in their high school career. Any type of programming background you have is going to give you a leg up later on in your computer science career. And the other class is an algorithms class. This is a special topics in algorithms. We actually had an introduction to algorithms class this summer. This isn't really a continuation. Students can jump in the special topics. We're going to do fairly advanced things, so we want students to have at least some programming background. They don't necessarily have to have taken a class in algorithms before, but we're going to study different real-world scenarios. What type of problems might you want to solve in those real-world scenarios, and learn about different algorithms to solve those problems. And so this class is kind of very helpful in preparing for the USA Computing Olympiad as well. Right, so we have math competition prep, physics competition prep, and then this algorithms course will help with the computing Olympiad as well. Okay, so lastly, we have our winter boot camps, right? So these are face-to-face, week-long intensive training camps, and it's a great way to interact kind of with your instructors, with other advanced, motivated students, right? So there's a great social aspect that these camp programs provide. And so our 2 winter camps we've announced so far. First one is in Portland, Oregon, December 19th to the 23rd, and the second is in Irvine, California from the 26th to the 30th. And so signups are open now. We have the early registration ending later this month, and so now's a great time to kind of get more information about these camps, and we would love it if you guys could sign up and get that early bird discount as well. So really quickly, I want to talk a little bit about, right, so our courses are available both as live classes, right? So live classes, we have small classes done online so you can interact with the instructor, right? Very much like we have now. We have the video, audio, we have interaction with the chat, with the whiteboard as well. So for younger students, right, one of the things they always like is we have little emoticons we can put on the screen, right? So we can draw on the screen. We'll actually we can give students access to the whiteboard as well, so they can kind of share their work and present their solutions to problems. So we have a great kind of interaction between teachers and students that way as well. After the course, we'll have homework for the students that will be graded. They'll be able to review their homework. They'll be able to watch recordings of the videos whenever they want to kind of make sure that they get the topic of the week, all available through our class management site that I'll briefly mention a little bit later. So we really like the live classes. Of course, it's not always possible for people to kind of, whether it's schedule or how busy you are, maybe you want to work a little bit slower, you want to work a little bit faster. We also offer all of our classes as self-paced. So this gives you the video lectures from the previous year, so where it's always our most up-to-date material that we have. And you get access to all the videos, all the handouts, all the homework, as well as answers for checking your work as well. And then you always can ask questions. We have online forums set up through the class management site to get questions from our instructors, from the people who taught the classes or created the curriculum. We're all available to help students behind the scenes as well, even if they're taking the class as a self-paced course. Okay, so little bit of kind of our guarantee, right? Of course, we always, when you start out, you may not know exactly what class is the best fit for your student. So we're always willing to work moving people into harder classes, into easier classes, from self-paced to a live class. If schedules change, anything like that, we're happy to help figure out the best fit for anybody, any of our students. And we also kind of offer 2 classes, up to 2 classes risk-free. So if something doesn't work out, if we can't figure out a fix, as long as you tell us within 3 business days of the second class, you can get a full refund for the course. So we went through a lot of stuff quickly, so I just want to point out where you can kind of review this information on the website as well. Right, so Cameron mentioned the website before, right? One of the tabs is the course tabs, and so then if you click on live classes as well, you can get more information about the live classes. And then, right, in the live classes link, we have a schedule of all of the classes, right? So this is just a couple of the classes. You'll notice if you squint really well or can see the image here. Otherwise, if you go to the website, you'll see the full schedule of the terms. You'll see what days the classes are, what times the classes are. If we skip any classes due to holidays, everything's here on the live schedule. So it's a great way to kind of see, make sure the class fits in your schedule. After you register, you can always come back here to check the schedule and stay updated that way as well. So we have 2 kind of main sites linked on the front page. So in the upper right of our thing, we have a registration link and a My Classes link. So we have a registration site, register.areteem.org, class management site, classes.areteem.org. So the registration site is how you register for the classes. I'll show a picture of what that looks like in a second. But the other one I want to mention is the class management site. Once you register, you will get an account at that site. And this is where the student will have access to all the recordings, all the material, homework, schedules available there. So that's kind of the one-stop shop. Once you're registered for a course, everything you can need to access the course, the forums as well if you want to ask questions, everything's there. So that's a great site, a great resource for the students who are taking the live classes or self-paced classes as well. Right, so as I mentioned, the registration site, just so you have an idea of what it looks like, this is where, again, you'll have a list of all of the different programs available, classes, camps, books, right? A lot of you registered for this event, this webinar from this website as well, so this should look familiar to you. And this is kind of the place to go back to if you decide to register for one of the courses or camps in the future. Okay, so next I would like to introduce Dr. Kevin Wong, right? He was teased earlier as he would appear later on, and we saw his picture earlier. Now you get to see a live video of him. He's our academic director, and he's going to talk a little bit more about our ZIML competition and what all that is and some other programs we have available online.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm glad to see everybody here, and I will talk about our new programs about the ZIML competition and some other on-site and online competitions and daily magic spells. Okay, these are the programs we have been running for some time, and also there are some new programs. So first of all, what is ZIML? The Zoom International Math League. Okay, so this is actually a global math competition. Okay, so there are a lot of people, a lot of students attend from the United States, from all over the world. All right, so let me talk about the history a little bit, the background. So we started in 2008. 2008, we started at Southern California Math Olympiad. So we were in Southern California, and we were gathering a lot of students in Southern California to have a meet in the math competition. But soon we expanded to bigger and bigger. So basically, right now, we are actually international. Okay, so over the years, many participants actually took this as a well. This is a quite fun and challenging math competition, and then they liked it, and then also the participants also have some good results, and they advanced to top colleges, and they went to national, international math competitions. So so basically, the format of this is it's first of all, it's fun and challenging. Okay, this is comparable to the other mainstream math competition like AMC 12, 10, 12, and the AMI and ARMO. Okay, and we have different divisions, Division H and Division M. Division H is for high school level, Division M is for middle school level. And for the format of this, we have 2 individual rounds and the 1 team round, and at the end we have a final 4 team contest. Okay, and so for individual winners and team winner, we have prizes, and let me say some highlights of this. Okay, so in the details about these formats and detail about how this is run, you can always find it on the website, but I'd like to introduce some of the students actually who took these contests. So these are the some of the students. Okay, so one of them, Patrick Pan. Okay, he was in one of our summer camps, and he actually attended ZIML. So I want to mention him because he was admitted to Harvard at age 15 and did very well there. And also on the right hand side, there are 3 students actually, Cheyenne and Yang Liu and Michael Kuro. These all in the competitions, and then later on they actually went on to win gold medal in the National Math Olympiad. We're very proud of them. Okay, so for the on-site competition this year, we actually held them at the Areteem summer program sites. There are three sites in big universities. One was at UCLA, one was Bentley University, very good business school in Boston, and the Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. So we have the 3 sites separately, and also we have overall winners. So those will be the winners also will be announced on our main website, okay, the Areteem website. And these competitions, the Zemo competition, are open to the campers. So they attend the summer camp, they can attend, and also the non-campers from outside, they can also register and join. So this year we actually had quite some students from outside. Some people actually drove 4 hours just to attend this competition. Okay, and also coming up, this year, New Year's Eve, we're going to have a competition in Irvine, California. So that will be right after the winter boot camp. Okay. So now the next thing I want to talk about. Okay, this is a little small. Everything is a little small. I want to make it a little bigger. Okay, let's see if this is easier to see. Right. So this is the website, a new website. We are actually already working, and we are constantly developing the material, the programs. And here is this website. I need to write the URL here so you can take a look. And everybody is encouraged to visit and sign up. Sign up a free account, and then you can join the programs. So this is the Zemo.areteem.org, the online monthly contest. What I want to talk about are actually two things on this website. Monthly contest is the next page. So these are the monthly competitions. We have 6 levels. You see there are 6 levels. So Division E, Division M, Division H, and we have junior varsity, varsity, and masters. So what these mean? Okay, right. So what these mean? For the top 3 divisions, Division E, it represents the upper elementary level. Okay, upper elementary school level, and fourth grade, 5th grade, and you can join. And the Division M is for middle school level, and Division H is high school level. So for these, we'll focus on the regular school curriculum. So basically, you have competition, but it's also mainly some level of a little bit more in depth than the regular school material, but not too much in depth. Okay, not as much as the AMC, the Math Olympiad, and the junior varsity. Junior varsity, it will be like the actually the competition oriented, you're the Math Olympiad oriented. For example, this one, junior varsity, is like an AMC 10-12 level. And for the varsity level, it's actually the AME level. So, and the master's level is going to be the Math Olympiad, USAMO and JMO level, and also the international level. Okay, so for if you're really into math competitions, you're very interested in math competitions, you can you are encouraged to join the junior varsity, varsity, and master's level. Okay, if you are you don't have a lot of experience in the math competitions, you are very good at the school math, and you're interested in math, you are encouraged to take the other 3 divisions. Okay. So let me go on to the next page. All right. So this is the general information about the online monthly contest. So it will be the first Friday of each month. We have the dates actually lined out. So in the Zemo website. Okay, so I captured the dates here. So it's the first competition will be October 7th and 8th. Okay, that's a Friday and Saturday. So the format of this competition is you have 20 questions and a 1 hour time limit. But it's open Friday and Saturday. So basically during the time, Friday and Saturday, you can take any time around during that time. Okay, but you have 1 hour time limit. Once you start, you have 1 hour to finish. Okay, and then so basically you are you take these 20 questions and you finish it. You basically submit it, and then you'll be graded automatically. Okay, so the winners every month will receive awards, and also we have rankings on the website. Okay, so the winners will be recorded, will be ranked. So okay, let's go on to the next topic is the daily magic spells. Okay, before this one, okay. So this is actually a new contest. The online monthly online contest is a new contest we are pushing out. So basically, I encourage everyone to join. Okay, this will be a really good monthly practice. Zimo is one of the programs of Areteem. Okay, Areteem is the school. All right, so next I want to talk about daily magic spells. All right, so what is daily magic spells? What is the magic spell? So this is just I showed this picture. I showed this screen capture earlier. This one here, the block on top. This is daily magic spells. Okay, so mathematics is magic. So that's not what I said. This is actually from a lot of our students. Okay, so what we taught, what we teach in classes are actually like magic. Okay, so you know, sometimes people even talk about, you know, match the terms with Harry Potter magic. Okay, so sometimes you say, oh, this is like a flying on broomstick, or sometimes it's like, yeah, this is a travel by flu powder, something like that. So basically, it's a lot of the methods you never think about, but in terms of problem solving, it's if you follow our lectures, you follow the practice doing the problem solving, you will learn those methods. So those methods are really great method. You can think out of the box, and all those different kind of things you learn. You know, you look at the problem from different angles, and try to find new ways to solve an existing old problem, something like that. So basically, for this daily magic spells, it's like you're learning a magic trick every day. Okay, learning a spell every day. So this is every day there is a problem published on the Zimo website. Okay, so you can go in and do the daily practice. All right, so this is completely free to join. All right, and so I'm showing here a leaderboard. So every day you have you work on every day. Every problem is worth 5 points, and then this leaderboard is for the past 2 months. So question here is, are there different levels? Right now, each problem is marked as a middle school level or high school level, or for everybody. So a lot of the problems are okay for all the levels, because if you have a different level of experience, you can have different ways to solve the problem, and all of those are encouraged. Okay, so sometimes you have the same problem, but you learn different knowledge. You have a different knowledge background, and you learn some tricks sometime, and then you can do it using one method. It's faster, and using another method it's slower, but you can still solve it. And maybe you don't know the certain knowledge points. For example, you are fourth grade, and then you use fourth grade knowledge to solve that the problem is probably a sixth grade problem, but you can use your fourth grade knowledge to combine them in different ways to actually solve this problem. That you are very good. Okay. What we don't encourage is you try to learn. You try to use a 10th grade method to solve a 9th grade problem. That's actually not very useful here. Okay. All right. So okay. So I see some people are raising hands here, but you can just type your questions in the chat room and in the chat box. Okay. So let me go to the next one. So I'll show you some examples of the problems. Okay, so here is an example of the question for all grades. Actually, just elementary school students can actually do it. So for example, we want to count the triangles in each of the following diagrams. Okay, it actually should be the following diagram. So this diagram has a lot of lines, okay, straight lines, and then there are a lot of triangles in here. So the question is, how many triangles do we have? Okay, how many triangles do we have? You see this this is small one. This is a triangle. Okay, and then those are triangles you can count, but you can also count combined as separate triangle. Okay, and then so that's a lot of way to combine the triangles. And also people usually miss this kind of triangles. This is also a triangle. There are also a lot of triangles like that. So when you count it, you're going to need to count all these triangles to have an answer. And when you have an answer, you just type in here, whatever you type here. I'm not going to show the answer. You have to go there. You have to go into the website and sign up and do it. Okay, this is free. So this is also the past questions are all open. So I'm not going to give you the answer. Once you type in the answer, you submit, and then you're going to see you're going to have a response. Okay, you're right or wrong, and whether right or wrong, if you're wrong, you can try again. If you're right, you can see the solutions. Okay, you can see the solutions anyways, but for daily practice part, how would you rank Areteem compared to B-Star Math? Okay, so we have the problems from the actually from our training programs, and also we have all different kinds of interesting problems there. For the I will not comment on other websites. So each site will have their own benefits. Okay, but we just say ours. We are the all our training programs. The classes are like systematic programs, and each of the problems we will you practice on a certain trick. You learn a certain trick. You learn a certain concept. We'll focus more on the concepts and the problem solving, and also application to real world. Okay, so all right, so let me give you another example of the middle school level problems. Okay, so this question is geometry problem. So you're given a diagram, and then you're given shaded area. So you're given the area. You want to find the area of the big square. Okay, so this one is actually based on the area, and so if you're familiar with area formula, if you're familiar with the a lot of these area methods, it's very easy to solve. Okay, otherwise it's going to be hard. So this will be this question is a test on your familiarity with how these areas related. So basically the basic concepts of area, and also how you calculate areas. Okay, how these different transformations you can translate, you can convert one part of the area to another, or you can compare the relation. Okay, you can find out the relation between one part of the diagram to another part of the diagram. So again, I'm not going to give you the answer. Okay, so you have to work it out yourself. So the next question will be on the high school level. Okay, the high school level is this will be the Fibonacci sequence, and we have the definition of Fibonacci sequence, and also we want to find out the remainder of the very big Fibonacci number divided by 3. Of course, it's not possible if you want to actually work out the Fibonacci number up to the 2016 number, but there is a trick. There is a method to find a pattern. Okay, so well, that's about it. I have introduced the several programs still. So the on-site Zimo competitions, online Zimo competitions, and the daily magic spells. All these everybody is encouraged to sign up and join. Okay, so next I'm going to pass this microphone back to Cameron to talk about ASLA, so local clubs.
Thank you, Dr. Wang. Hi again, everyone. It's Cameron. So the last part of our webinar, I will briefly go over what these ASLA local clubs that I talked about at the beginning. So this is probably new for most of you. What is ASLA? So ASLA stands for the Academic Support and Local Alliance. These are actually clubs that we're starting to form across the country. We do have a couple right now in a few locations. That's why we're going to be doing our Portland, Oregon campus. We have one that's actually starting there. So how might we do it for other areas, you may ask? We can take a look. But first, what would you actually do in a ASLA local club? So right now we're focusing on what we are good at, our mathematics. So with that, it's more advanced mathematics. What we're actually taking is from, you had heard from John earlier speak about our courses. You may have mentioned, you heard about the self-paced courses. We actually will be using the self-paced courses in these local clubs, meaning that you would be able to get together with different students, their own age and own level. You would then be able to take our self-paced courses, and from there you can actually learn on your own. So it is, as I mentioned, an informal setting outside of school. So that's why we call it a club. It's something that students can get together and have a good time. These are students, obviously, that really enjoy advanced mathematics, and we're giving them another way to not only see what we have to offer, but also another outlet. As you saw, we have many outlets, including our classes and camps, but we are now starting to form these clubs as a supplemental thing. What these will include is we will be actually able to communicate with these parents and families who are interested in this. This can entail meetings in your area. So it could be in Portland, Oregon. It could be in Dallas, Texas, East Coast. These, like I said, are off-site of our location where we're located in Irvine, California. But we still will be able to keep in contact with you. These meetings, we will help to talk with you about and see how you want to formulate them, whether it includes doing class lectures together, as well as just informal discussions with the students. These also further for the students that are interested in math competitions, not only just with improving their math skills in general in school, it will help the students to be far more prepared for doing math competitions. Why? One, they're taking our classes with us. That is an online setting. Two, they're actually doing it in person with other students. So as John mentioned with our camps, it gives more of a social aspect of doing something like a math program too, and eventually attend programs with us. So the idea is that eventually when you form a local club, if you're able to get enough students there, we may perhaps do a camp program in your area. We may consider doing a spring break, winter break, or even one of our large-scale summer camps in your location. So, how can you create an ASLA club? This is obviously on the part of you as the families. We only are here to help actually do the formulation of it from the beginning, but this is something you would have to do at your end. So, you may already have a network of families already with students who are interested in math. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of our webinar, many of the families in our time period now feel that the math classes are not sufficient to meet their students' needs. Students feel that they need to take more of an advanced class beyond what normal students are taking too, whether it's even doing a class 1 or 2 years ahead. So with this in mind, we hope that you would be able to get together enough families with other like-minded students and start to create a club. We say that for right now, to start an ASLA club, you need to start with at least 5 students. That will at least give enough students to actually communicate with, and then if it grows from there. In terms of with the families, we do have something where people can create a coordinator. So what does this mean? That means among the families, you need to select one parent coordinator. They will be the one to do many of the functions in the club. Basically, they act as a supervisor to the students in the club. So it'd be someone that you know among the parents. This person will be the one to mainly conduct the meetings in the ASLA local clubs. They'll be the ones to help schedule when and where you will meet. So obviously this is a parent that needs to dedicate some extra time outside their usual work and also whatever other activities, after school activities students are coordinating. This essentially, the ASLA local club is another after school activity. So this parent will be the one to decide upon a location. It could be in a local learning center. It could be in someone else's home. Anywhere that you feel comfortable to do it in. So this parent will be the one to decide on dates and times, talking with the families, and thus be the main contact with our staff at Areteem Institute. So with that, when I say about like this on the next part, decide on location to host student meetings and lectures and discussions, the parent will be able to talk with our staff. Once, for instance, you have found your 5 or more students and have said, okay, I want to form a local club, then you need to contact us. And then from there, we'll be able to talk with you, just like we do with our classes, to decide the levels of your students and be able to create an overall picture, plan of action for your club. So that's we'll be able to know where you're going to be holding it, the location that you'll be doing the club. And it can change. Obviously, it depends on how the families feel that they want to host the club at. You can then decide at your discretion how you want to deal with the classes. You would be, like I said, be enrolled in a self-paced year packet, which could be over 3 or 4 of our self-paced courses that you would be doing over a few months. We can help you decide the pace of how the class will go with you. So you can actually choose a couple of different options. One is you can actually all together sit down and do the hour-and-a-half class, maybe once a week or twice a month. Then you would have a little discussion section. You could also do it where all of the students in the ASLA local club are taking the class at home by themselves, but they meet up in the club to discuss homework and the assignments. We also will do ongoing training too at our end to make sure that the parents are keeping up to date. We're keeping up to date on what's going on. If you have questions for our faculty, we are here to serve you and make sure that your club is running well. So, and let's see what that looks like a little bit. So first I'm going to go like the benefits of an ASLA local club. So one thing is, as John mentioned with our faculty, we have our well-known faculty of master's and PhD instructors who can actually help you to do better in the classes. And we do have an in-house developed curriculum with our years of experience. So some of the features would be, one, is that the class is taught by the instructors in the self-paced classes. One difference, though, between the self-paced classes that we offer and the self-paced classes as an ASLA club member, you will get homework feedback. Normally in our self-paced classes, students have a contact that John had mentioned, whether it's him as the curriculum director or one of the instructors to help with homework. But with this, there's usually no feedback given in a self-paced class. As an ASLA club member, you would actually get feedback from our faculty, whether it is the actual instructor who originally taught the course or John as the curriculum director, who can actually help the students to make sure that they're understanding the material. Another feature that we actually have with our classes already set up is our online forum. This is brand new to our students, where they can actually go on this forum on our classroom management site that John had mentioned and be able to ask questions. So sort of like the chat feature that we have right now in the class, students can just enter into this forum and ask any questions they want, and they will be able to have someone in our faculty and staff to actually help answer their questions. This is some feature that we've actually been looking to for many years, and we're thankful to actually have developed that right now for our classes. Continually, there will be parent training, meaning that when you first form a club and we know what level and what self-paced class you're going to be taking, we will have an introductory meeting with you, kind of like right now in this setting on WizIQ. you will have an online webinar where you can actually stream live, as we're doing right now, and talk with us to see what you need in creating the club. We will also continue these two. With the parent coordinator, we can schedule periodic, whether it's twice a month, once a month, or a couple months down the road, be able to talk with our faculty and staff. And this is where we just basically, as a staff, talk with the parents to get some feedback, give advice. We'd love to hear your ideas as a parent coordinator. As I said, this is a very new type of feature of doing an ASLA club, so we want to make sure that we are there to support you. Other benefits, obviously, as I mentioned, that students get to be with their peers who have similar interests and enjoy mathematics. Later on, if there's enough students, they can host their own tournaments. One thing that the parent coordinator could talk about with the other families is creating an event that's near them, where we're not there yet, but you can actually create it with your families. And as I mentioned, later on, if we get enough interest, we may even have several ASLA clubs in one city or one area. If that happens and we have enough people that really want us to physically be there, we can host a local camp with the club or many of the clubs together. Actually, that would be interesting too, because like as Dr. Wong mentioned, we have our on-site competitions. We can even do a big competition near you with enough local clubs. So that's a little bit about exactly why you would want to do an ASLA club. To give a better idea, here is a sample outline of a group of students. This isn't a group of students we have already. This is a sample of what could happen. So let's just say we have a parent from Northern California in the Bay Area, outside San Jose, California. The parent has a group of 5 students. They are all good friends. They go to the same school. And they are all want to do the AMC 12 competition. So let's just say these group of students are juniors, 11th graders in high school. So we have the parent coordinator contacts us, lets us know, I have 5 grade 11th graders. We want to create a local San Jose ASLA club. So what does that mean for us? So that means we'll have the preliminary webinar talk, and then we will specifically help to make sure that the class that you take will help them to do better in, let's say they just formed the club in a month's time. We hear from this family. We will make sure that by February 2017 next year, that they will be fully prepared to do the AMC 12 competition. Now, in terms of the classes, that's specifically going to be for our Math Challenge 2B self-paced year packet. One thing that I forgot to mention, doing an ASLA group together with 5 or more students, we do offer a group discount where students can actually get a little bit more off to enroll in that class. So after that, we will set up the initial meeting and we'll decide on the pace of the club. Let's just say, like, for instance, that you're doing it in late September. We are doing this conversation. And your first meeting is in October. We'll make sure that we'll obviously talk with you. We'll know how many times you're meeting. Hypothetically, let's say that you have decided with this group of students you will meet twice a month, 2 Saturdays each month from October, November, December, January. So at least you'll have 4 months to help prepare for the classes. Now in a self-paced year packet, we usually have 4 courses covering the subjects that you've heard about before, including number theory, combinatorics, geometry, and algebra concepts. We'll make sure maybe the students need more help in geometry and combinatorics. We can then make sure that you guys are paced enough so you will do the class for combinatorics and geometry up until that point in time. Someone just actually asked a question, is the homework online or in paper? How's the homework graded by faculty or papers? Okay, so as John mentioned, we do have our class management website, so all the homework will be done online. Students actually can print out the homework at their end, same thing with our online courses, and do it on their own, and then they can actually, with their parents' help, scan and email it back to the classroom management website. That's how we can actually grade the homework that way. Everything is all concentrated on the classroom management website. To answer the second question, homework will be graded by faculty or parents. Since we're working with you, we as the faculty would be able to grade it for you. If parents want to start grading it on their own, they feel free, they can do that, but as I mentioned, as part of the ASLA club member, will be able to actually help grade it for you. So from there, we'll regularly meet the students with the parent coordinator, and the families will decide when they will regularly meet to discuss the lectures and homework. Like I said, let's just say they set it up where the students do it on their own, and then they, from there, will meet at the ASLA club for an hour and a half, twice a month on Saturdays, and they'll just basically discuss the homework from there. Then from there, the parent will be able to speak with us to schedule a maybe once a month webinar to get feedback on how the students are doing. Let's see, I got a couple of questions before I go into anything else. Let's see, Audrey asked, let's see. Well, I'll answer a few questions at the end because we are running a little bit over time, so I will address those couple questions in just a bit. So just sit tight. Just to show you where exactly do you find information about the ASLA local clubs, you will see that under courses, where you will find live and self-paced courses, there is a drop-down menu that will indicate the local clubs. You can also find it here. It appears on this side. Most of the information that I talked about is here, but it is a little bit more formulated here, so you can actually read it. And we did give the example of the AMC 12 students who wanted to participate in that. So that's a little bit about the ASLA clubs, and I mentioned I will get to the questions at the very end because I do have a few people asking questions. So how can you more connect with us? Obviously, beyond looking at our website, we also are involved in social media. We try to keep up to date with posting different pictures and information and news about us. One of the main features that maybe a lot of you found out about us is through WeChat, which we're very active in through several groups, actually, with answering your questions. For other content, we do also not only encourage the parents, but we also encourage the students. We love to hear students, to hear what they say and what they feel about the classes. So below the classes and Areteem section of our website, as you can see here, these are all our different social media links that we are involved in. Below, you'll be able to see 4. So we're pretty active on, this page is for Facebook and Twitter. For professional development, we also have a LinkedIn page. And for, I know a lot of students like to use social media like Instagram. We also have our own Instagram page where students actually upload their pictures. Some of these recent ones are taken from the summer camp. But we are pretty active in these, but this is where you can find our social media. So this is one side. As I mentioned, we also have WeChat, but we do like to also hear from everybody too. We also encourage reviews. We also love to hear back and see. Obviously, we have people emailing or calling us saying, oh, I really liked your program. You know, it was fun. My child came back from the summer camp and really learned a lot. We want you to take the next step and actually put it in a review. We actually do have reviews on Google as well as our Facebook page. So eventually we'll have a little bit more to say about that, but we'd love to hear that you enjoyed our programs. And you know, it's good to keep up business that way in hearing back with reviews. One thing that I mentioned earlier in the webinar is we actually have a blog. This is where you can find all of our educational resources. Our blog is located here below the social media icons and next to special programs. On our blog, we have different sets of information listed where it would be very helpful to take a look at. We have several categories listed. Some of these include information to help students in college admissions. In some of these, I've actually been writing these myself too. We include information on how to write the personal statement, which is something I know 11th and 12th graders especially need to know, how to write a personal statement for getting into the college of their choice. Under a section called Career Advancements, we talk about different types of careers. Right now we have different listings about some ideas of science, more STEM-related careers. A second section is events. The events page is where we talk about all the events that are happening at us. So we do blogs on our camp programs. Sometimes we also talk about a feature about our students. So maybe one of your children might be featured on our blog telling about all of their programs and what school they're getting into or what math competitions they are competing in. There actually is a math and science competition section on the website where we give opportunities for students to learn about the competitions in the area. I mentioned about our outreach events. Some of those have been math and science competitions. We blog about them too. So there are several features of the blog site that you can take a look at and read. As you can see, there's plenty of you to read on our website. Just to go back for a bit to review, we have everything if you want to learn about under our About page. We have a video gallery so you can see sample videos of our classes. We also have a faculty page, so if you want to learn more about John or Dr. Wong and our other instructors, then you can learn there. Our courses section talks about all of our self-paced and live courses. The camps, we basically right now have information about our past summer camps and our upcoming winter camp, the Zumba competitions that Dr. Wong mentioned, the bookstores, the curriculum books, special programs like our outreach events, and the blog. So, just if you wanted to even get further information because you really like us, this is a QR code here that if you have the feature on your smartphone, you can actually use to little bit more information about us. We also have the address. This is our physical headquarters in Irvine, California. This is our main office number, 949-305-1705. And do note that if you were to call that number, most likely you'd be talking with me, the Student Service Director. So I'd be happy to talk with you more about our programs. For our WeChat users, one of the WeChat IDs that we use is Rosemother. So if you're not on a WeChat group, definitely go on to Rosemother and find we have a plethora of groups on various different subjects. To reiterate about our website, it's areteem.org. That is our main website. And the one that Dr. Wong mentioned was zimmel.areteem.org. That is for our math competitions. So I think John and some of our instructors have actually answered some questions right now. But I'm going to take a look at to see what people have asked so far. I'll take a look at Sophia's question. What happens when a student does not know how to solve a homework problem? How can a student get help? All right, so we did mention that a little earlier, Sophia. So if you have questions on homework problems, we have the online forum on the classes.areteem.org website. The online forum is active, and you can actually ask your questions on there. Also, if you're doing a class with us, usually the instructor will give his or her email address should you have any questions to ask them directly. Also, kind of like this live class that we're happening right now, you can also use a chat. But the main website email that we use is info@areteem.org. So if you have any questions, you can also email info@areteem.org, and we'll be able to get to you. And I'll put that in the chat feature too. I and my staff members are the ones to answer that email. So info@areteem.org goes to everybody in our staff. So if you have questions, you can also email them as well. So I hope that answers your question if you have had any help, if you need any help. If there are any more questions, you can definitely write in the chat box feature, and I would be happy to answer them before we go, because I know we're a little over time right now. So. Let's see. They're taking the. All right. So from now on, are the online Zumba competitions and practices free, or do you have to pay? Okay. So the online Zimmel math competitions are part of the zimmel.areteem.org website, and since those are free accounts, the Zimmel math competitions are a little bit different because they have to enroll in them separately. Although we do have them once a month, they're usually a $10 tuition normally to compete in the competitions. So that is usually what they have to do for the competitions themselves. On-site, even though you asked about online, on-site competitions, if students were not involved in a camp program, then they would have to pay separately to enter into the competition. John asked, How quickly to get feedback on homework typically? Okay, normally with 1 to 2 business days. So if you were to contact us in our office, we are here Monday through Friday, usually between the hours of 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. Pacific time. So right now. So if you had any questions, then you can actually contact us via phone or email address. Let's see. How often do students from the Areteam went to International Math Olympiad competition recent years in particular? Okay, well, the recent one that Dr. Wong had mentioned were the 3 boys. That picture that showed they were originally doing our Zimmel math competition, and they were also involved when they were in middle school in one of our summer camp programs in the past. Now, those students, like I said, that he mentioned, went on to be Math Olympiad. That picture showed them in high school now, that they've actually been gold medal winners for that. So those 3 are the most recent ones that we've had actually so far. Let's see. Shui Jin asked, after MC1B, is the student ready for MC2? Does the student need to learn grade 9 and 10 math outside the MC classes? Okay, so answering the first question, student ready for MC2. Okay, normally with the classes, we do have the students do it for a full year. So if you're doing the MC1B class or AMC8 prep, we would like to make sure that you understand the content fully and that you do it for a year. Most of our students do a full year of a class before they enter into the next session. Second part, do they need to learn grade 9 and 10 math outside the MC classes? Obviously, that's something that they're doing in school. I mean, our classes are helping them to just do better in their classes in general, as well as the math competitions. As John mentioned, it's about problem solving, so they can take their classes concurrently with ours in 9th or 10th grade. Someone asked, does the summer calculus class cover what a normal calculus class at school covers? Okay, the pre-calculus class, as John had mentioned briefly, can be taught while doing Algebra 2. That class could be potentially taken in place of doing a pre-calculus class in high school. That's something that also we would be able eventually to provide a transcript once taking the class. That's something that you would have to talk with your high schools about. As we mentioned, our programs are WASC accredited. Every school is different in the criteria in terms of what credits could apply to a class. So once we'd be able to give you the transcript for the class, from there you would have to present that to a school counselor in high school or middle school and see first if that would apply. We have before where our classes have applied for credit, but it's up to the discretion of the school to decide if the classes that we teach would be able to fulfill the need of doing a pre-calculus class. Let's see. Does sign up have to select a certain level? If so, and if selected level is not suited, can it be changed easily? Okay. That's something like I and my staff would be able to talk with you about to make sure that your student is at a particular level. So we basically kind of find out through our phone conversation or email conversation what exactly maybe what class could help your student. From there, then it would be the best judgment decision of which class we would be able to place, class or camp program to place your student in. It can be changed. As John mentioned, we do have the risk-free 2-class time period that applies to both live and self-paced classes, where we can easily transfer a student if that level doesn't meet their need. Within a camp, we also place students in camp groups. That can also change, which is usually for the better, because that means in the few months since we talked with the families, once they registered for a camp, they've greatly improved, and so we usually change a group, usually within the first couple days of a camp, to help them that way. I think we're going to be, we're actually running out a little bit of time now because we have done over 20 minutes, so I hope that this actually did help to answer many of your questions. I will answer one more, which is Colin's. So is there pre-calculus during the 2016-17 year? Yes, there is. As Curriculum Director John mentioned, if you looked on our website, we do have a pre-calculus class starting this fall in the next couple of weeks. As a reminder, fall term will begin shortly. Our first class for fall term begins on Tuesday, September 6th. So I wanted to thank everyone again for coming to this webinar. Also, I'd like to thank our curriculum director, John, and Dr. Wong for also presenting topics. And we hope that this was very helpful for you. And maybe if you're not already here, we hope to see you soon. Either we hear from you as in a local ASLA club member, as in a self-paced or live class, or at a camp program. So we hope to see you soon, everyone. Thank you again. My name's Cameron from Areteem Institute, and you all have a pleasant evening. Thank you again for joining us for this webinar.